Good morning, MLSlistings subscribers, and welcome back to Realtors Edge. Carlos Rodriguez here with MLSlistings. I'm your host today. We are definitely thrilled to welcome back Brent Adams from CoreLogic. It's always a pleasure to have him with us. Today, Brent will be presenting two different and valuable topics, ePropertyWatch and MLS Touch. We're excited to dive into these tools that can help you elevate your real estate business. And of course, thank you, Brent, for being here today, and thank you, everyone. As a reminder, this session will last about 40 minutes, followed by a 10-minute Q&A session. And please feel free to put your questions in the Q&A box. Peter, Fernando, and I will be monitoring those questions and will rejoin you once Brent concludes his presentation. So also remember that this session is being recorded and it will be put on our YouTube channel within a couple of days. If we don't have time to answer all the questions, because I know there's probably a lot with two different topics, feel free to send them to prodev@mlslistings.com. Again, prodev@mlslistings.com. Well, that's it. Grab your favorite cup of coffee or tea, sit back and enjoy. And that's it. I will turn this over to Mr. Brent Adams. Brent, the mic's all yours. Thank
Thanks
you.
very much, Carlos, Fernando, Peter, the rest of the MLS Listings team. Proud to be back here and to show you a lot of the different CoreLogic products that we've got available for you. Let me go ahead and share my screen first of all. And where we'll start is here in Matrix. So one of the things that you'll notice here in Matrix is one of the things first and foremost on your widgets, on your MLS widget dashboard here is ePropertyWatch. Now, ePropertyWatch is really an excellent tool that you can use to stay in touch with clients that you might not necessarily be actively working with again. What ePropertyWatch is effectively is it's a drip marketing campaign. It's a direct email campaign that's going to send information about a homeowner's current home, the price of their home and what's going on around their neighborhood. And it's going to give them information about, again, the value of that home and other important information that they'll be interested in knowing about a home that potentially, you've sold them before. So all you need to do to get into ePropertyWatch and to begin to connect with a lot of the clients that maybe you've sold a home to but don't keep in touch necessarily with anymore is just go ahead and click on this ePropertyWatch widget. Now, where you'll end up is inside the ePropertyWatch dashboard. This is where you end up when you do click on that little widget there on the Matrix homepage. One of the things I always recommend that folks do is that they go in and they go adjust their settings first, because again, these are going to be drip emails that are going to end up going out to your clients with information about their property. Here, let me just show you one that actually will end up getting sent out. Here's an example email that'll be sent out from ePropertyWatch. This is an email that's going out to me. I've set myself up as sort of a fake client in ePropertyWatch, and that's something I always recommend to do if you've ever watched any of my presentations before. As a realtor, as an agent, you also want to be able to see exactly what it is your clients are going to be receiving from you. So it's nice to set yourself up as a client, send yourself some information about a property, preferably one you live in, one that you know about. And again, this is the type of information that your clients are going to get. You're going to see the value of the property and when the last time we calculated that value was. We're going to give you information about what's gone on with that property in the recent past. Has it been sold? Has there been a lien? Has a mortgage taken out? And yet again, all your contact information, your photo, your logo, everything is included here in this email. So this is really the end result of what ends up going out to your clients and informing them about information about their properties. And again, one of the nicest thing about these emails that we send out, it's information about a property that they currently live in. It's information about a property that they own. So it's going to be something that they're going to open as well, and they're going to want to look at that value and where that value has been going on that property lately. So let me show you how you can set this up and how you can get your clients into ePropertyWatch and start sending them this information too. Number one, as far as getting your clients in, I'm going to click on the Clients tab up here at the very top. And what you can do is you can either import your clients or you can also add them manually if you want to as well. So you see, I have a number of different clients that let me know who's active, who's not active. There's me where, again, I've mentioned that I set myself up as sort of a fake client. It's going to let you know who's been opening your emails lately, who hasn't been opening your emails lately. But adding clients is extremely easy. All you need to do is click the new button up here at the very top. And all we require is a first name, last name, email address, and a property that somebody is interested in. Now, as you start to type in information about that property, you'll see that it starts to autocomplete. You want to get that autocomplete because it needs to be a property that, of course, ePropertyWatch can find, collect all the data on, all the values for, all the mortgage information for, and we'll go ahead and get that in there. Now, you can add them manually. You can also import your clients as well. Without going into the entire import process, what you can do is you can import from a CSV file. So if you've got your clients perhaps in Matrix or maybe in a CRM tool like Prospects, you can, of course, export those into a comma separated values file into Excel, and you can then import your clients in here too. So as you import your clients in, don't forget, once you've imported them, you do actually have to come in here and send them an invitation too. So you've got to actually, once you've imported them, send them that invitation. And there's where they get that email. And let me show you another email actually. Because again, the email I showed you at first was information kind of ongoing about a property. Here is that invite that they'll get when you finally get your clients invited into ePropertyWatch. We'll let you know about what property we're talking about. If they want to find out more, they can, of course, click on Tell Me More and look at more information about that property. And if they want to subscribe to your drip email marketing campaign, if they want to receive regular emails about this particular property, they simply have to click to confirm, and they're then added as a client, and they will receive properties at regular intervals from you. With that said, let me go over here into the settings section and show you how you can set some things up based on how you like your emails to go out and who should be, again, receiving this information. So I always suggest going to the settings section first. It's going to allow you to set up a lot of your branding and things. And it's also going to let you be able to set the frequency with which you'd like those emails to go out to folks. So the first thing you'll notice here is I'm subscribed to an agent basic service. And something that I forgot to mention to you is this agent basic service is completely free for you. There's no reason not to use ePropertyWatch. There's absolutely no cost to you whatsoever. There are increased plans with some different tools that I'll show you that do cost. But the basic service where your clients are getting their emails, completely free to you. So we like you, of course, to put in all your contact information, your name, your designations, your office name, if you have a tagline. Do you have a website? Sometimes in many states, you'll have to put in your agent ID, and in California, that may be the case. And then, of course, all your contact information, your email address, your mailing address, your phone number, and you have the ability to put in your photo and your logo as well here. Simply just upload those from your laptop or your desktop or wherever you're actually using ePropertyWatch from at that time. You can even get free leads from ePropertyWatch as well. So if you've actually, it is an invite service, but ePropertyWatch.com is a website that your clients may stumble across. And if they want information about properties in their area, they can be matched up with you. If you go ahead and check, I want free leads, let me sponsor homeowners in my area. So again, folks who randomly sign up for ePropertyWatch without the benefit of having been invited by you, a realtor, or another agent, may be randomly assigned to you. So that's something you can set up here under settings as well. So that's all under your profile: basic information, contact information, photos and logos, and preferences. Now we move into the notifications next. This, when we say notifications, it's referring to the emails that I just showed you, whether it's the welcome email, the first one that you send them when they are going to subscribe, or whether it's the emails that get sent out to them at different intervals after they've signed up for your service. So you can decide how often your clients get sent those emails: every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks, even every 3 months. There are also ways that you can be notified as to what sort of activity is going on with those notifications. You can be sent an email of any activity that's going on recently. You can also find out when a client invites someone by a friend, if a client deletes a property, or you can also be notified when a client signs up using something called the widget, which I'll show you in a moment too. The other thing to point out here under the template section, I did show you the client invitation. I also showed you the subscription summary. Those are the 2 emails that I showed you. And you've seen some of the text that's included in them. I'll actually click on this one and open this one up. and you'll start to see some of the information that's contained. Here's what's happening in your neighborhood. Here's my free monthly newsletter that contains insights about your neighborhood. This is all the standard text that we include in that client invitation. And again, to get that regular report, all they need to do is click that button to confirm, and there's that contact me button. You can edit these if you want to be a little bit more personalized than some of the general text that we've put in here. The only thing I'd point out here is hover over that little question mark. There are mail merge fields in here, things like consumer first name, intro text, and you just need to know how to format those once you do change up that client invitation. So if you do make any changes, feel free to do that. And you can, of course, change those templates, whether it's a subscription summary or a client invitation, and you can change those to your own personal text if you'd like to. A couple other things I'll point out under the marketing tools. Here is where we have the social media link and the widget. And actually, before I get too much into this, first of all, you'll notice the marketing tools are only available as a preview under my current plan. You do need to upgrade to use this social media link, which you can, again, put on your Facebook page or your Twitter page or your Instagram feed if you'd like to. And you can also set up a widget. And for example, if I was subscribed to a higher level of service, and I'll show you those in just a moment, this would actually be HTML code that I could post into a website of my control if I wanted to. So clients will be able to, again, it's just a great way, again, for agents, I should say, to gain more passive leads. Put these on your social media links, set your widget up on a website where you know clients are going to go visit. And if they want updates about their home, whether they click on learn about your home's value or they enter their information to subscribe for a property that they want to see information on, where they'll end up is this little landing page right here. So when they end up on this landing page, yet again, they're going to see your branding up here at the top. They're going to get a basic explanation of what ePropertyWatch is. Again, homeowners love it. They want to know what's going on with their property. Everybody wants to know what their home is valued at. We give you a little bit of an explanation about ePropertyWatch down here, a quick video that you can watch, and yet again, they've got that widget where they can enter information about a specific property that they want information about. All right, with that said, let me get back into the settings section. I will point out under the accounts section, this is where you can go ahead and find your MLS. So it's got California here, MLS listings. And these are the different tools that you've got available to you. And again, totally free for you, both of these sections. So you can get the marketing tools or the basic service at no cost to you as well. And of course, you can terminate your account at any time as well. All right, let me go back into my clients. We talked about importing clients earlier. Let's go take a look at what we can do with them and how we can start inviting them into this service and how we can get them some information about the properties they're interested in. So I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm going to go ahead and click on details here. Now I've set myself up as sort of a demo client here. So what you'll see is I've got over 6 properties that are set up for myself. For many of your clients, you're likely just going to have one property that they're interested in, and they'll be able to, again, take a look and get the updates on those one properties if they want to. But as I click through into my details here, and let me get into this details page, sorry for the slowness, and you can see the invitations, the number of properties that I've been invited to look at. Maybe I do have multiple properties. Maybe I'm someone that lives in California or in San Jose, and I've also got a property down in Florida. So you can set up your clients with a number of different properties if you want to. The one I've set up my client with is here at 3460 San Jose. That's the one I'll be using for today's demo. Now you can always remove properties at any time too. It's simply as easy as just clicking the remove button and you'll be able to delete those properties if you want to. You can also take a look at the recent notifications that have been sent out to your clients as well. You can view them so you can see what they look like from their perspective, and you can even see whether they've opened them or not too. So all those things are available for you, and I've got pages worth of that. And then here's the contact information for this particular client. So that's managing your clients. This is, again, where you as an agent spend a lot of time in ePropertyWatch. What I'd like to show you next is what your clients are going to see as well. Now, there's 2 things that you can do to be able to see this. If you as an agent want to see what your clients see, you simply need to click on the address for the property right here. And it's going to take you to the exact same place where when your clients click on more about this home's value, it's going to take you to the same exact page. So you're going to get to see exactly what they're seeing. So what I'm going to do now is again, I'm going to sort of operate as a client who's received that email, clicked on the link within it, and gone ahead and taken a look at the ePropertyWatch information for my home. So number 1, again, this is what a client's going to be looking at. They've got 4 different tabs: value, details, neighborhood, and trends. They can invite a friend if they want. As I mentioned, you'll be notified by email if they do that. And also, all of your contact information that we set up in that branding section is available here, and they'll be able to contact you anytime if they have questions about their property. So we'll start with the estimated value of this home. You can see it's an excellent value. It's one that we're proud of. And if you want to know a little bit more about the estimated values and how we calculate them, we've got some descriptions here, even a nice short video that my good friend Scott has put together that will show you a little bit more about how those values are calculated. Here's the change in value since that property was purchased, what we believe the equity to be in that property, and the mortgage balance as well. Speaking of mortgages, we've got the mortgage information down here. And of course, any client that comes in and sees information about their property or their mortgages, and if they see for some reason it's not correct, or if they have a second mortgage, they can either add that second mortgage, or they can even edit the details of that mortgage too. You know, if the actual original mortgage amount was $275,000, or maybe they've refied down to a 3% mortgage and down to a 15-year mortgage, maybe there's only $150,000 left on that mortgage, they can go ahead and make those changes. And then of course, those will all be reflected up here in the estimated value, the estimated equity, and the mortgage balance as well. Moving down a little bit further into the value section, what you're really going to see down here is comparables. And you're going to see the estimated value compared to similar properties in this area. This property is valued rather high compared to other properties in this area. And here are those other properties that we're using for that basis too. You can simply click on any of these and get all the same details that we're showing you about this property for any other property as well. They're not just limited to looking at the properties that they own. Here's a value history. So in this case, we've got, about 10 separate years here of value. So you can see where the value of this property has been going over the past 10 years and where the mortgage balance has gone on this property too. So all those lines are going to be able to be shown for you, and you're going to be able to see exactly what's going on with the equity history in that home. The next thing many clients are going to do is check out the details of their home. So we'll give you a bird's eye view, a map showing you where the property is located, and some basic information in terms of the location and physical makeup of the property. Is it single family residential? What's it zoned for? How big is the plot that the property's on too? Now, the characteristics and features section is going to show you how these properties match up with other properties in the neighborhood. So, for example, this property was built in 1964, and you can see that sort of indicated here by the 1960s, which is when most of the properties in this area were built. Although we had several, or a good percentage of which, I should say, were built in the 1970s as well. You can see by square footage how this property matches up. It's a little bit bigger than most properties in this area. It's got roughly the same number of bedrooms as many properties in this area. And it's also got 2 stories, which is a little bit unique for properties in this area. As you can see, many others only have 1, about 2/3 of them, as you can see. The features section works really the same way. It's just showing you how properties, or this property, matches up against other properties in the area. So for example, it's got a garage, which is similar to 93% of other properties in the area. It's 2 stories, which is only similar to 34% of properties in the area. So you'll get to see exactly what the properties are in the area and how they match up. Now, neighborhood highlights is showing you information sort of to the extremes as to what's going on in this neighborhood. These aren't necessarily comps. These are the most expensive houses, or the biggest houses, or the smallest houses, properties on the largest lot or the smallest lot. What's the newest property? What's the oldest property? So you get to see sort of the highs and the lows of what's going on in this neighborhood. And then there's also a history section as well. So you can see if the property's been active, if the loan has been paid off, if a lien has been filed on the property, if there's been a sale on the property. All these things have been recorded and will be shown down here in the history section as well. If your clients want to learn a little bit more about their neighborhood, all they need to do is click on the neighborhood button, and the further they scroll out, the more sort of dots that you'll see showing up on this map. And you'll see exactly what they refer to. Is there a new listing? How many properties have been sold recently? How many properties have been put up for rent? All they need to do is scroll down into these properties and go ahead and click on the details for them. And you're going to, again, get the same details that I'm looking at now for this subject property that I sent to my client. They can look at them for any other property in the neighborhood as well. So it really does give them insight into what's going on, not only for their property, but any other properties in the area too. And then lastly, they've got access to some trends. And this is going to help let them know exactly where sale prices are going in their area, how many distressed properties there are. And again, we kind of use these as some leading indicators for, potential value for these properties in the future. When we see less distressed properties in an area, that's great. Sales volume going down a little bit. We've got risk factors for these properties too. So how many folks have negative equity, or how many folks are 90 days delinquent. Adjusted average gross incomes for this particular zip code, income types, even information about average tax refunds and taxes due for people in this area too. So this is everything that your clients have access to. They get to know everything about their particular property. They can contact you with any questions, or if they're looking to sell their property again. And then you get to go back into your version of ePropertyWatch. So switching gears on you, acting as an agent now. And then you can go back, for example, into your dashboard, and you can see exactly what's going on with properties and what's going on with clients whom you sent these emails. How often have you sent out these emails? How often have they been opened, and how often have they been clicked as well? You can go in and you can actually take a look at some reports too. These reports are going to show you some information about the clients whom you've invited into the service, including how they subscribed, how they were invited, whether it's by sponsor, meaning you invited them by email, or whether they've signed up using that widget I showed you as well. And then all the breakdown about information about properties you've sent them, how many properties per client, how frequently you're emailing those clients, and how active all those clients are as well. So that's kind of everything I really wanted to show you about ePropertyWatch, because I really did also want to get to MLS Touch as well, and of course leave some questions for the very end. So just for a moment here, I am going to share my phone on my screen in just a moment. But just to remind you about ePropertyWatch, it's a drip marketing campaign. It's super easy to use. It is set it and forget it. That's all you need to do is go ahead and set up a client, decide how frequently you want to send out an email to them, and then go ahead and be able to just sit back, relax, and wait for that information to kind of roll in, or wait for those clients to go ahead and contact you. So it's really a free service, nothing you need to do on your end. It's really a great one to sign up for. All right, well, I'm going to switch gears on you now. I'm going to talk a little bit about MLS Touch. And MLS Touch is what we kind of, affectionately refer to as Matrix in the palm of your hand. So if you want to do some work in Matrix as far as searching for properties, sharing them with your clients if you want to, MLS Touch is a great way to go if you don't have your laptop or your desktop in front of you, and you want to do kind of what you need to do with your clients on the road. Everything can be done here on an iOS device or on an Android device. You're noticing I'm using an iOS device right now, so I've got the App Store pulled up. And what I'll point out is when I go into the App Store or the Google Play Store, for anyone who's happened to be using Android as well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a search here. And I'm going to go ahead and just do a search for MLS listings. And when I put in a search for MLS listings, you can also search for MLS Touch, but I point out MLS listings because what you want as agents is you want to download the one that says MLS Touch here. That's your version of the app. What I'm also going to point out to you is you've got also a white labeled version of the app as well that's going to be shareable by your clients, and it's called MLS Listings. So these are the two that you want. MLS Client is not the one you want if you're a member of MLS Listings. MLS Touch is for you, and the MLS Listing app is for your clients, and that's why you can kind of see them here. Now, of course, I wouldn't send out any of your clients, to download that MLS Listings app. What you're going to end up doing, and what I'll show you how to do, is you're going to invite your clients to use that app, and they're going to need a code in order to actually hook up with you, see all your branding information, have you as a point of contact, and you'll be able to, again, chat back and forth and share listings back and forth too. So let's get started with MLS Touch. I'm going to tap on that. Now, to log in, I won't go through the login process just because we've got not quite a lot of time left. But logging in is easy. It's going to be the same exact credentials that you use to log into your Matrix system. There are a couple things you have to do to log in first. You've got to actually select your state, of course, California, and find MLS Listings, your MLS, before you can get into that login. Once you do, you get here to what we call the dashboard, sort of kind of showing you sort of a 7-pack here. Used to be a 6-pack. Now we've got 7 different selections for you here, a lot of which having to do with searching, which I'll show you more about in a little bit. But what I also want to point out is down here at the very bottom, and I'll kind of try to point out with my mouse here. I'm not sure if you guys can all see it, but at the very bottom row, there's things that say home, search, contacts, members, and more. I'm going to click on contacts first. And while I do click on contacts, you notice I've got Matrix pulled up in the background too. So I'm going to go into my Matrix, and I'm going to go into my contacts here too. And what you'll start to notice is the exact same contacts that I have here in MLS Touch are the same exact contacts that I also have here in MLS Listings in Matrix. So that's one of the things that actually syncs back and forth. If you add a contact in MLS Touch, it'll be added in Matrix. And if you add a contact in Matrix, it'll also be added in MLS Touch. Not only that, if you send your client listings, whether it's through Matrix or MLS Touch, and I'll go ahead and click on myself, as again, I've set myself up as sort of a dummy client, you'll be able to see any properties that they've favorited, any properties that they've set as possibilities, any properties that they've discarded as well. We'll get to some more information about messages, where you can actually contact or kind of chat with your clients using the app as long as you've shared their version of the app with them too. You can see how many listings you've sent your clients and keep track of them. Simply click on those sent listings and they'll show there. You can show how many properties you've got in a cart for your clients. And of course, you can also share the app with your client too. So this is where I wanted to point out that to share the app with your clients and to start chatting back and forth with them, this is the link right here that you'll need to send to them. You can send it by text message. You can also send it by email, or you can simply copy it too. What I will point out is the most important part of this link is going to be found right over here. So if you go ahead and copy that link, I'm right now in my agent version of the app. Really quickly, I'm just going to kind of switch over and show you that there's also an agent version of the app, and that's the one called a client version of the app, and that one's the one's called MLS Listings. So when they click on that, for example, let's say they weren't logged in. I'll reset my agent's code. This is what your clients will end up seeing. Of course, they can search around without that code, but they're not hooked up to you. So if you want them to, again, be hooked up to you, see your branding, they need to go ahead and put that code in there. And then as you can see, look at how the top of that is branded to Remax. We'll get a little bit more into that in just a second. But what I want to do and show you quick is, again, go back into your version of the app, MLS Touch, and show you again, that's that link that you need to share. So contacts are, again, already in there. You don't need to do anything. They're going to sync from Matrix. You're going to have contacts in there already. And you can, of course, tap on any of them that you want to and be able to share that app with them as well. Let's get into the app and show you a couple other things that you can do. For example, I'll start by doing some searches. And I love doing a map search. I think MLS Touch is really great in terms of the map search field filters and everything else that they've got available. It's very easy right off the bat to see how many properties are available in your field of view at that moment. For example, at the upper right-hand corner, you can see I've got 17 results. You can see also how I'm going to be able to filter out properties above that where it says filters. You notice right now I've got some green properties showing up. Those are active. I've also got some pending properties showing up. Those are in orange. And if I'm only interested in seeing certain properties in a certain area or of a certain listing type, simply click on filters at the very top right corner there. And I can go over here and I can go to my listing status right there in the middle. And as I go to listing status, you can see I'm looking not only for active, but I'm also looking for pending properties too. Let's go ahead and uncheck pending, hit apply. And as you can see, I've got the ability to filter by a lot of stuff if I want to. So for example, if I want to come in here and set a particular price, maybe properties anywhere between, let's just say, $1 million and $2 million and hit apply there. Look for properties maybe perhaps with only at least 4 bedrooms and at least 4 bedrooms. And again, things that are available to you to living area, the lot area. And then click on more criteria. We've again tried to make Matrix in the palm of your hand. We're going to give you almost everything you can do a search for with Matrix. You can do that same search here in MLS Touch. So if you want to set a property by how many stories they have, or you want to set a property, search for properties that only have a specific view, or you want to search for properties that only have a certain heating type. All these things are available for you to set. Once you've got all of your preferences set for your search, go ahead and hit search, and you'll start to see, again, some of those properties. Oops, I didn't hit apply there. That was why. Let me go back and set that again. And I'll just look for actively listed properties. I won't narrow it down right now, but I'll do that search and notice how all those pending properties went away. It's also super easy to see what's going on with these properties at a glance. Notice a couple of these properties have homes with keys in them. That indicates that there's going to be an open house that's associated with those properties. Here, I'll go ahead and click on this one for $799,000 in my field of view. And this is where you get information about that home if you want to. So you're in a bit of a hybrid view now. You can scroll around, you can look at different information on the map. There's a price reduction, for example, that property's for $2.85 million. Here, I'll go ahead and click on that one. Going to be a little bit larger, and we can, again, toggle between them if you want to. But in this hybrid view, you can, again, start swiping up, and now you're actually on information about this property. Now you can scroll through all of the photos for this particular home if you want to and get a little bit more information about it. And you can also set it as a favorite if you want to, too. And we'll actually ask you if you like the app, but I can go ahead and favorite those, and you can see that little star will fill up, or that little star will go away as I favorite or don't favorite that property. There's multiple ways to share properties with your clients too. As I move down into the share section, you can send them by text message if you want to, send them by email if you want to, or even send them by message. So for example, if you send them by text, they're just going to go as a text message to your particular client. You can choose any client whose mobile information you have imported in here, and you're going to be able to send them as text. So if you've got folks that love to work on their phones, they're going to be able to open up information about properties that you send them via text. You can also send them via email if you'd like to as well. Same thing goes, you can either put in an email address or you can add them from your clients if you like to as well. Put a little note in there. And when you do send them by email, let me take a moment and show you the types of emails and type of information that you get. So I took the liberty of, before we went ahead and did this demo, of sending out an email to my clients. Something else you're going to notice here, you're going to get that branding here for Remax. Again, I'll show you more about that in a minute and how you can change that if you want to. But here's information about a property that I already sent to myself. There's all that branding that I've got set up, my photo, who I am, and how my clients can contact me. And when they do go ahead and click on that email, they're going to end up on this listing page where we're trying to keep them here in your space. So we want them to, again, know what they can afford in terms of a property. We've got that mortgage estimator available for them. We've got a nice little slideshow that they can go through, and they can look at all the information they want to see about this home. All the other details, including an upcoming open house, a description of the home, general information about the home, even where it's located. And then, of course, your contact information down here at the bottom, all available to them so that they can see what's going on with the particular property. So again, that's how you can share those listings with your clients. Again, externally from the app, I've showed you how to text them. I've showed you how to email them, but you can also send them in message to your clients as well. So if I click on send in message, not to be confused with text message, you can choose a client, whether it's an active client that I already have ongoing messages with, or you want to start from scratch. I can go ahead and tap on Brent, for example, and say, thought you'd like this one. And thank goodness it's, of course, fixed all my terrible typing there. I can go ahead and I can send that off to my client now. And here I'm going to do one more switcheroo on you. We're going to go off your version of the app, back onto your client's version of the app. And now what they'll be able to see is in the lower right-hand corner there, they can go to their messages. And there's that property I just sent them. Thought you'd like this one for $799,000. My client says, I love it. Can we go look? So again, don't forget, I'm operating as your client right now, and we're just chatting back and forth, agent and client, about these properties that we think, maybe that we'll be interested in. I take a look and I can see now I get a little text back where he's going to say, I love it and I can't wait to see it. So as I close out of here, I'm actually then going to be able to even set up a showing if I want to. So I've got showing and request down here at the very bottom. As I click on showing request, I, as the agent, have access to the listing agent for this property. Your clients only have access to you. They'll never get access to the listing agent for any of these homes. They've got to filter any questions they have about any properties they see that either they process on their own or that you send through you. So you send an email to that listing agent, and you can set a setting. You can set up a if you want to for your client. So just sort of everyday information or every sort of things that you're going to be able to your clients. We've got a comparables report here. There's some things that I'll probably skip in favor of showing you some of the more advanced features. I do want to show you again how you've got access as an agent to things like public remarks. You've got also access to things like the relist tax data for this property. So you're going to get the public records information for this property too. Scrolling down into the physical characteristics and estimated value, even the mortgage and sales history as well. As an agent using the app, you're going to get access to things like showing instructions, agent remarks, and the listing agent as well. Now, just to show you the comparison between the two, let me go off of my agent version of the app, go back to my client version of the app. And as a client, if I tap on this property that my agent has sent me, you can see I've got limited access to some of the other tools. There's no comparables button up here. There's no request a tour or anything like that. Moving down a little bit further, they've got remarks, private notes, a mortgage estimator, features, and assessments and taxes. No access to any showing instructions, any listing agent information, any tax and public records information. So what your agency, excuse me, what your client sees are going to be a lot different as what you see as an agent for these properties too. All right, I'm going to spend a little bit more time on the maps. A couple other things that you all have available to you that I find extremely helpful in areas is that you've got also some information that you can place, kind of our advanced map layers. So what I did was on this map, I tapped the little eye in the upper right-hand corner here. And as I tap on that eye, you've got all kinds of different overlays that are available for you. First of all, you can see where the schools are in a particular neighborhood. And as I scroll out, you'll start to see some of those mortar boards. And you can see, for example, that's Grant Elementary School, great for families with children, and they'll want to know that information about properties. Go ahead and tapping again on that eye, turning off the schools, you've got traffic patterns, parcel boundaries. We can put flood zones up here on the map too, and you'll be able to see whether or not properties are or are not in a flood zone. But what I really love here is I love to show these advanced parcel mapping features. So for example, if you want to know whether or not properties might have a high sales score according to our records, I can turn on sales score, and each one of these properties you can see if they're yellow, it's a low sales score. If they're in green, it's a relatively high sales score, meaning the propensity for those properties to be listed in the next 6 months is pretty high. But you've got all kinds of other things that you can show on these properties too. How many homes are owner occupied versus not owner occupied? Anything in green is owner occupied, anything in gray is not. So these are some great things that you can show. I won't show you all these, but you get the idea. Home equity, ownership time, all kinds of other things can be placed on these properties so you can see what's going on in a given neighborhood. Additionally, just scroll down to any parcel and give it a tap, and you're going to get the lot dimensions and also the public records information for that property too. You know, I showed you a lot about map searching. Advanced search is very similar. I'm not going to get into too much detail about that since we're starting to run out of time. You can save searches, as can your clients. When you do save them, they're all available here in your saved searches as well. You can search by MLS listing number. You can access your favorites. We've got a hot sheet. And another feature that I really love is InstaView too. That InstaView feature is great where, again, when you're on the run, maybe you're showing a client maybe some properties in a condo for a complex, for example. They love that property, but they want to know if anything else is available in this area. With InstaView, as long as you've got your location services turned on in conjunction with the MLS Touch map, you're going to be able to tap that. Now, of course, I'm very far away from you in Colorado, nor do I have my location services turned on. But you'll be able to find any properties within 450 feet of your current location. Any actively listed properties will show up right there in that InstaView section too. All right, just rounding out a couple other things that you're going to be interested in seeing under members. You as agents have the ability to search for other members of MLS listings too. So as I put in the name Smith, I'm finding only agents with MLS listings that have the name Smith. And as you tap on them, you're going to be able to see all their contact information, and you're even going to be able to go into any listings that they may have too. So you can actually tap on those listings, find out more information about what they might have on the market. But where I'd like to finish up with the app, and it's kind of finally getting back into showing you what we kind of do with all the branding and the Remax you're seeing in the background there, is under the More section. It's sort of the little 3 lines, the little hamburger icon in the lower right-hand corner. As I go ahead and I give a tap on that, this is again where you've got things like save searches and access to your listings and access to the members. But the thing that I want to show you here that's most important is brand and share. I showed you how to share your clients, share this app with clients that you already have imported into the app. But what you can do first is you can go into brand and share, and you can actually set up your own logos. There's that logo we were talking about. Now, if you've got your own logo, all you need to do is click on select logo and bring that logo in from your photo library that you may have on your phone or whatever device that you're using to access MLS Touch from. But you can also use some of our presets too. So say, for example, I now all of a sudden work for Century 21. I'm going down to Century 21. I hit OK. I go ahead and I hit Apply Colors and Logo. And now what you'll see is not only does it change here on my version of the app, as my client goes back into their version of the app and they go back to the homepage, it's now updated for them too. So that's how quickly that changes. And this landing page, where if I've emailed my clients information about a property, if they refresh it now, all of a sudden it's Century 21. So that's how you can brand your version of the app, again, to whatever brokerage or your own personal settings, your own personal logo if you want to. It's all under that More section, under brand and share in your version of the app too. Now, once you get done with this and you click Share My App, here's a whole different code that's available for you. Now, what I suggest here is this is, again, a great way to passively get different clients, to get new leads, because this is not set to any particular client that you have imported into MLS Touch. This is where maybe if you've got an email signature that says, I'm Brent Adams, I'm a realtor, here's my email address, here's my website, oh, by the way, download my app. Copy and paste this link into your signature. And then when your clients go ahead and click on that link, they're going to end up coming into your system as a lead. And once they come in as a lead, you're going to be able to click on them and decide whether or not you want to reject them as a lead or accept them as a lead, at which point they get moved over into this contact section. All right, folks, that was a whirlwind tour of both ePropertyWatch and MLS Touch. As you can tell, I love talking about both of them. There's so much rich information in them, really, that's available, to you for just about anything you need to know. In fact, if you have more questions, I might suggest going to that More section and go ahead and coming in and learning a little bit more by clicking on Discover MLS Touch up there, sort of in the top third of my screen. That is a great place to go. And of course, don't forget about going to the Learning Lab and being able to learn more about MLS Touch if you want to, too, from your Matrix dashboard as well.
So once again, thank you very much, Brent. It is always a pleasure to have you here. Like I said before, I know CoreLogic has a lot of other products that you can always come and tell us about, the upgrades. We have Realist, we have Matrix. We can talk about Matrix for hours and hours, but we'll have you here soon again.
Sounds
And
great. Always a pleasure, guys.
thank you, Brent. Thank you, everyone, Fernando, Peter, Allison, the team. And thank you, everyone, for being here today. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.
Take care.
Take care.